The iPad mini is a funny little tablet. On one hand, it's nearly perfect, at least for me. It's small enough for ultra portability, it gives me slightly more screen real estate than my phone, and it packs the same features of iPadOS found on the larger, more expensive Apple tablets. On the other hand, I feel like the iPad mini is overrated and overhyped. It's not bad, but I feel like Apple missed out on making something great and instead made something good enough. In fact, I would have been happier if Apple charged a little bit more for the iPad mini to give us the premium features, or at least, the very least, made a Pro model to go along with this one. That's the direction I'll be taking this video. Before I begin, if you're in the market for a new iPad or any other piece of tech, make sure to hit up the links in the description. I partner with Best Buy and we're bringing Black Friday savings to you early. They have a ton of deals, including a Samsung 70-inch TV for $599, up to $400 off Lenovo laptops, a $640 savings on Samsung's 4-door Flex French door refrigerator, say that 10 times fast, $220 off Samsung's Q65T soundbar, which sounds amazing. I actually use the Samsung TV and Samsung soundbar together, and it's a sweet combo. If you know me, then you know how much I like electric cars, bikes, skateboards, scooters, pretty much electric all things. Best Buy is offering the Swift Zip e-bike with 37-mile range for $250 off. It's a really nice bike, and if you get one, I'll be super jealous, so you have to tag me on IG if you do. It goes up to 19.8 miles per hour, so you'll get from point A to point B really fast while looking like a boss and getting some exercise in between. Best Buy has deals on tons of other products, so make sure to take a look at what they have going on if none of these things pique your interest. These deals won't last long though, so make sure to hop on them while you can. By using the links in the description, you're supporting the work I put into each and every one of these videos, plus it doesn't cost you a thing. And I want to save you some money. If there's one thing the iPad mini deserves praise for, it's the design. The size is perfect for anybody that wants a screen bigger than their phone, but smaller than a laptop. It's technically pocketable depending on what you're wearing, how tight your jeans are, or your coat, so on and so forth. It can be held with a single hand, making it great for reading, and the all-metal construction is nearly identical to its larger, more expensive counterparts, which I'm a fan of. I love that Apple chose to use USB-C versus the Lightning port. It's much more universal, reliable, and has faster transfer speeds versus Lightning. I do wish they would have went with the Thunderbolt 4 port like the larger Pros have. Having the extra bandwidth would have been nice when transferring larger files to and from the Mini, or just editing directly off an external drive like when in LumaFusion. I'm sure it's more of a hardware limitation, given that the iPad mini doesn't have the M1 chip found in the Pro models, but we'll save that once we get to performance. The button layout is something I had to get used to since the volume keys are found at the top versus the side. No biggie, it's just something I had to adapt to using. I love how the volume keys change based on the orientation you hold the iPad when in landscape. Thanks to software, the volume up key will always be the top button, which is something I feel is underrated. The power button doubles as a Touch ID sensor, which I'm a fan of. However, I would have loved to see Face ID on this tablet. It's not just better in my opinion, but with the design of the Mini replicating that of the more expensive models, it just makes a little bit more sense. When the new iPad Air was released, I thought the same thing, so I'm not just picking on the Mini here. Call me crazy, but if I had to pay $50 extra for a feature like Face ID, I would have paid it. Unlike the iPad Air and Pro models, the Mini does not have a smart connector on the backside. Personally, I don't think it's a problem. Most people can use a Bluetooth keyboard, mouse, or trackpad, so you're not really missing out on a whole lot of functionality. Besides, the iPad mini isn't really necessarily the ideal device for productivity work. It's more about content consumption. This would be reading, scrolling through websites, gaming, or watching Ted Lasso, and wishing you had a fraction of that guy's sweetness. Unfortunately, this is where the iPad mini falls short, and I don't think people talk about this enough. The display on the iPad mini is not great. It's good, but it's not great. And with the price of $500, I was expecting a little bit more. I'm able to look past things like Face ID or the Smart Connector, Thunderbolt 4, or even ProMotion, but I can't look past the quality of this display. I would say it has mediocre viewing angles with slight color shifting when tilting it backwards, which is more than likely to happen versus viewing from the side. The brightness and contrast ratio is actually pretty good, so no complaints there. And it's pretty sharp with good clarity as well. The biggest issue is when scrolling scrolling through pages that have a lot of text, such as a website or document, there's a terrible jello or wobble effect where one side of the display refreshes slightly faster than the other, causing the text to almost dance on your display. Some people may not notice it, and that's awesome. But if you do, or you have already seen it, it's impossible to unsee. It gives me a huge headache every time I have to scroll through text, and it doesn't matter if it's a slow scroll or a fast one. Apple came out and said there's not going to be a fix for this issue. Cool, at least you were honest. But then said it's a common issue. After looking it up, I guess they were right, but on large displays like the iPad Air, it's not as noticeable. However, that doesn't fix the fact that it's still an issue and could have been fixed by using a higher end panel. Again, I would have paid extra money for a better display even if it meant one with ProMotion. Charge me the money and I'll pay it. Outside of my display gripes, the content consumption experience is fine. The stereo speakers are great for its compact size and punch above their weight class. Here's a quick example to give you an idea of what they sound like.
Cabin pressurization is underway.
As we prepare for ignition. Flight recorders are on. T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Watching movies and TV shows has been excellent, and using it for nighttime reading has replaced my Kindle since the text wobble issue only occurs when scrolling vertically, not flipping pages. Thankfully. The iPad mini even supports the Apple Pencil, including the newest generation, which is awesome for doodling, handwritten notes, brainstorming, photo editing, and markups. It's a great way to kill some time when you're waiting for someone, or if you're just bored and feeling a little bit creative. Honestly, it's almost a perfect companion for a student thanks to the Apple Pencil support. But it would have just been a little bit better with a higher refresh rate display. I know, I'm kicking the heck out of that dead horse, but I can't get past it. You know what else would have been better with ProMotion? Gaming. Especially since the A15 chip inside this little thing is quite good. It's not a huge leap from the A14 found in the iPad Air, but it does come with some efficiency improvements and some slight performance gains. The efficiency is definitely noticeable, and when combined with the software optimization, I'm getting really good battery life on the iPad mini. In fact, I find myself charging it less than my 12.9-inch iPad Pro. Photo editing has been great even when editing raw 50 megapixel images from my A1. Quick video edits inside LumaFusion are also easily done. The only true reason I would ask for the M1 is for the Thunderbolt 4 support, but I'm not going to dock Apple for this one. The A15 is just fine and the USB-C 3.0 port is enough. But if they released a model with the M1, I would sure buy it. iPadOS is, well, iPadOS. It has its perks, it has its downsides, it's not a full-blown desktop experience, but it has gotten better. Regardless, I don't have an issue with it on the Mini like I do on the Pro models. I just feel like the Mini serves a different purpose. So being able to open 4 different app windows at the same time and running full-blown desktop apps isn't something I need on a device like this. You get me? The front-facing camera is pretty good and it's compatible with Center Stage, which is found on the new iPad Pros. I like this feature a lot. It makes FaceTime video calls a little easier when moving around, and I think people will appreciate it a ton on this tablet. The rear camera is also pretty good, and since the iPad mini isn't as huge as other iPads, you'll only look half as special when taking pictures out in the wild. I mean, cameras on tablets aren't really my forte, so I'm not going to go any further than that. Ultimately, the iPad mini is a step in the right direction. I just think that the iPad mini is a little overrated and underwhelming for the price tag. I was expecting a little bit more, mostly from the content consumption experience. I was hoping for a great display, and coming from the 12.9-inch iPad Pro, I just didn't get that. That's my fault, since I've been spoiled with ProMotion, but being that the iPhones now have 120Hz displays, I really feel like Apple missed the mark here. If Apple really wants my attention, they will make a Pro version of the Mini. They can easily charge me a little bit more, but they need to add ProMotion, Face ID, M1, and Thunderbolt 4. If they can do that, I'll march my butt right up to Best Buy and grab one right away. One regret I have is not getting a model with cellular service. I feel like the ultra portability of the iPad mini would have made it extremely useful. But oh well, at least the iPad to iPhone hotspot is seamless. But you know what? These are my thoughts. Do you think the iPad mini is great the way it is, or would you like to see a Pro model? Let me know in the comment section. Let's start a conversation. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. Subscribe for more videos like this. Make sure to check out those Best Buy deals, and I'll see you beautiful people in the next one.